Bill Kenwright, CBE is a leading West End theatre producer and film producer. He is also the chairman of Everton Football Club. He attended Booker Avenue County Primary School, and then Liverpool Institute High School from 1957 to 1964 and appeared in school productions on the stage in the Mount Street building. He was also treasurer of the Christian Union at school. In 2007, Kenwright was a judge in the BBC One television series Any Dream Will Do. Theatre. Kenwright is one of the UK's most successful theatre producers, best known for the long-running West End hit Blood Brothers and the record-breaking tour of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Other recent productions have included West End runs of Whistle Down the Wind at the Palace Theatre, Fesson in London, on a UK tour and now on Broadway, The Big Life, Elmina's Kitchen, Scrooge the Musical, The Night of the Iguana, A Few Good Men, A Man for All Seasons alongside UK tours of Jesus Christ Superstar, Tommy, Whistle Down the Wind, Tell Me on a Sunday and This Is Elvis. He produced the London revival of Cabaret at the Lyric Theatre in September 2006, starring Anna Maxwell Martin, James Dreyfus and Sheila Hancock. He has helped start the careers of many current West End theatre producers, including Mark Rubinstein and Mark Sinden. It has been estimated that he employs more actors in a year than any employer other than the BBC. He also directs many productions, including Blood Brothers, Whistle Down the Wind and more recently, was asked by Andrew Lloyd Webber to make changes to the direction of Love Never Dies. Current and recent productions include, Fame, UK National Tour, Blood Brothers a Euro Phoenix Theatre, London and on UK National Tour, starring Helen Hobson and Stephen Houghton, Cabaret a Euro Savoy Theatre, London with Will Young, Michelle Ryan and Shan Phillips, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat a Euro UK National Tour, The Wizard of Oz a Euro London Palladium, London, Jekyll and Hyde a Euro UK National Tour. Film, 2014 Broken, 2011 Dixie, The People's Legend, 2009 Car Copyright Re, 2004 The Purifiers, 2003 The Boys from County Clare, 2003 Die, Mommy, Die. 2001 Zoe, 1999 Don't Go Breaking My Heart, 1991 Stepping Out. Music. Kenwright has his own record label, which has released 3 albums as of February 2008. The London Palladium cast recording of Scrooge starring Tommy Steele and the 2006 Lyric Theatre recording of Cabaret were joined in February 2008 by the debut album of Kenwright's new boy group Dream On. Dream On, comprising 5 runners-up from the BBC's Any Dream Will Do a Euro Craig Chalmers, Lewis Bradley, Chris Crosby, Chris Barton and Anthony Hanson was formed in January 2008. He began his music career in a band known as the Chevrolets. Perhaps less known is Kenwright's recording career both solo and with the group Bill Kenwright and the Runaways, I Want to Go Back There Again / Walk Through Dreams Columbia DB 8239, and solo, as Bill Kenwright, Loves Black and White / Giving Up MGM 1430, Tiggy / House That Fell on Its Face MGM 1463, Baby I Could Be So Good at Loving / Boy and a Girl MGM 1478, Sugar Man When Times Were Good Fontana TF 1065. In 1969, Kenwright tried his hand at record production, producing 2 singles for Manchester band Money, who also worked as his backing band for several cabaret gigs in Oldham and at Allinson's, Liverpool. The first record, Come Laughing Home, was the title music for Kenwright's first foray into theatrical production with Reginald Marsh as co-producer. The show starred Anne Reid, who at the time was playing Valerie Barlow in Coronation Street. It was the first time a Coronation Street star worked in live theatre while still in the series. The show opened at Blackpool's Grand Theatre. The single was also released in Argentina. Actor. As a young man he became an actor. His early successes included a role in Coronation Street, as Gordon Clegg, who was introduced in April 1968. Kenwright left the show after a year to pursue his producing career in March 1969, although he did return to the show on occasion throughout the 1970s for guest appearances. He had brief stints in other shows, such as The Villains and The Liverbirds, and appeared as a reporter in Carry On Matron. Everton Football Club. Kenwright is the current chairman of Everton Football Club. He succeeded Littlewood's director Philip Carter in the role. Kenwright has been on the Everton board since 1989. He became the second largest shareholder in 1999, when Peter Johnson sold his shareholding after the Football Association told to him sell his interests in either Tranmere Rovers or Everton. He became the largest stakeholder in the club in 2004. Scottish international forward Andy Gray reported in his autobiography that the Everton board were ready to offer Gray the job as manager in August 1997, but Kenwright, then director, had wanted to appoint Howard Kendall as manager for a third time. Gray would decide not to become Everton manager and Kendall was appointed. 1994 Buyout Proposal Kenwright became involved in a consortium to buy Everton in 1994, as his consortium rivaled Birkenhead-based Peter Johnson. Kenwright's consortium had assurances from the Everton owner's family head Lady Grantchester that the Moores family would sell their stake in the club. Kenwright's proposal was dismissed as the Manchester Consortium in the Liverpool Echo, as the rivalry between Liverpool and Manchester was enough to deter supporters' support. Kenwright's consortium included Manchester-based Tom Cannon, Tony Tighe and Mike Dybel, whilst building magnate Arthur Abercrombie was Cheshire-based. Abercrombie offered a £2 million interest-free loan to the club for purchase of players. Kenwright, who had been a director at Everton for 10 years, had an opportunity to sway the board members to accept his bid but chose not to because he did not want a public relations battle with the more affluent Johnson. Tighe, in an interview with the journalist David Conn, said, "Bill didn't want a public row, that's why he didn't go to press much. He wanted the board to be unanimous. As he saw it, he didn't want Everton's name to be dragged through controversy." Peter Johnson's bid was accepted by the Everton board. Johnson installed Kenwright as vice-chairman and Sir Philippe Carter was reinstated as chairman. 1999 Buyout Proposal and True Blue Holdings Kenwright's consortium bought 68% of Everton FC from Peter Johnson for £20 million in 1999. A holding company called True Blue Limited was formed in January 2000. The stakeholders in True Blue Holdings included Paul Gregg, Jimmy Mulville, John Woods and Willie Russell before it was dissolved in 2004. Melia Bowes reported that Anita Gregg lent up to £7 million to Kenwright. Upon completion of the deal, Kenwright said, "Acquiring Peter Johnson's shares is only the first step to restoring a great club to where it belongs, to where it should be. If you are going to run a successful football club you need two qualities, you need to be realistic and you need a plan. I'm realistic and I have a plan." In 2003, he attempted to move Everton to the King's Dock on the riverside but after a public feud with director Paul Gregg over the proposal's finances and sale of Wayne Rooney, the move fell through. Gregg had wanted to keep Rooney at the club and Kenwright reluctantly felt it was best he be sold to ease the club's financial burden. Paul and Anita Gregg later sold their shares to Florida-based businessman Robert Earl. Kenwright's close friend Philip Green is believed to have helped him secure the club after being approached for help. Chairmanship On June 1, 2004, Kenwright became chairman of Everton Football Club. On the same day, Trevor Birch was appointed chief executive officer to replace the outgoing Michael Dunford. Kenwright said that Birch would be his sounding board, and that the new CEO should dictate the policy of the football club. Kenwright stated that Birch had not been brought in to sell the club, but that a new investor can have his shares as long as they have money to run the club. Birch resigned 6 weeks later. He resigned after a meeting with True Blue Holding where the board opted not to sell the club. Gregg claimed there was a refusal to relinquish control by other directors and that it was preventing progress at the club. Fortress Sports Fund. In August 2004, it was reported that a Brunei-based fund Fortress Sports Fund were interested in buying a stake in Everton. Following the public fallout with director Paul Gregg, it was anticipated that Gregg's shares in addition to others would be sold to the fund. Kenwright and Everton director John Woods were in favour of accepting the investment whilst Paul Gregg was sceptical and refused to endorse it. Gregg believed that the fund undervalued his investment, It was reported that the fund's bid was £12.8 million for 29.9% of the club. In February 2005, Keith Wyness stated that the club had begun to look for other potential investors. In April 2005, Samuelson stated that the fund is completed and registered, but Everton director Paul Gregg publicly questioned the FSF. "As a director, I have not received any proof of funds or that they even exist." The Liverpool Echo described the FSF situation as a farce. Paul Gregg stated that he had been led down the garden path and that the whole exercise has embarrassed the club. Samuelson reiterated that funds were ready. "The fund is approved and ready to go. I have not received the actual certificate of incorporation of the fund, but that is a technicality." He stated that an EGM was necessary to confirm the FSF fund. "As far as I'm concerned, it's a fait accompli subject to the approval of an EGM of shareholders." An EGM was never called and the question of investment into Everton from the FSF fell away from the public eye. In November 2005, at the following AGM, Kenwright said that Samuelson was someone who I believed could have come up with the money. He had his credentials and thought he could come up with a deal that was good for the club. But he didn't, like many other people, come up with the goods. He added, "I am spending 24 hours a day trying to raise finance for this club. I had a meeting today, 3 yesterday, all involving money that would dilute my shareholding but I'm not interested in that." 2004 Extraordinary General Meeting. By September 2004, concerns amongst fans had grown about the future of the club. An extraordinary general meeting was called by shareholders. The shareholders of the company expressed their deep concern at the current state of affairs in the company. It called for the board of directors to resign if they did not address previous motions to the satisfaction of shareholders. Kenwright is considered approachable by fans, and prior to the EGM he contacted a fan website before the press regarding the meeting. 2007 Extraordinary General Meeting. In 2007, Kenwright announced that he would like to move the club to Kirkby as part of a proposal known as Destination Kirkby, which included a Tesco supermarket and a retail park. The pursuit of this project led to minor shareholders of the club calling for an extraordinary general meeting in 2008. After it was confirmed that the EGM would go ahead, Keith Wyness resigned and was replaced by Robert Elstone, who was promoted to the position from within. At this meeting, Kenwright revealed that he took business advice from retail industry leaders Sir Philip Green and Sir Terry Lee. The EGM vote determined that the club should not pursue the project due to a growing number of concerns. In April 2008, he agreed to produce Dixie, The People's Legend, a documentary on Everton legend Dixie Dean produced by Liverpool-based company Tabacula. Personal life. Kenwright was married to actress Aniska Hempel from 1978 to 1980 and has a daughter and 2 grandchildren from his relationship with the actress Virginia Stride. He is currently in a long-term relationship with actress and political activist Jenny Seagrove. They live in London. The West End theatre publicist Adam Kenwright is his nephew, who runs advertising and marketing company also known as. Adam worked with Kenwright before setting up on his own. Honours. He received an honorary fellowship from Liverpool's John Moores University and is an honorary professor of Thames Valley University in London. In 2000, Kenwright was awarded the CBE for his services to film and theatre. In November 2008 he was awarded an honorary degree of Doctor of Letters from Nottingham Trent University in recognition of his outstanding contribution and commitment to British theatre. On January 3, 2014, Kenwright appeared on the BBC show Pointless Celebrities. He and his partner Jenny Seagrove reached the final and won the Pointless Trophy, but gave 3 incorrect answers and missed out on the £2,500 jackpot. References. External links: Bill Kenwright Productions, Bill Kenwright at the Internet Movie Database, 9 video of Kenwright on great new musical star Lee Mead, whom BBC One viewers had chosen by phone vote minutes earlier to play the lead role in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.